The Infringement Guise, Part 1, Visions of the Emblematic Stars. Hello again, and welcome to the Rise of the Eco Guards, Stand on Guard with Me channel. In this video entitled, The Infringement Guise, Part 1, Visions of the Emblematic Stars, I'll quickly express my different and limited perspectives of what I see, sense, and feel to be true. In this combined short version of my extensive, more articulated upcoming bodies of unique digital productions of the Infringement Guise series of videos. And I'll more quickly express in this video what I believe is transpiring in this recent urgent political conflict and the many forms of catastrophic crisis points that have developed within our country, and what I believe is truly occurring as it relates to the 47th President of the United States' actions towards Canada. A man in which I do have great respect for what he wants to achieve as it relates to bringing about America's second golden age, which I truly believe should have already occurred prior to September 11, 2001, before we were all hijacked by the old world order and the security deep states in all our countries. That said, I want to be clear about this. These are my bold and uniquely different comprehensions, and should not be interpreted as anything that POTUS believes or not. I've never had the privilege of meeting the man, nor would I truly know what he wants. But I will say, his actions of late kind of points to something interesting, but also points to the realities of something quite dangerous as it relates to the actions of many others whom truly don't have anyone's best interest at heart. Well, at least no one's interests, but their own. Anyways, these are my beliefs, and may not rub certain people's the right ways, but that's life, for there are also many of you whom rub me the wrong ways. But the United States, and to be more factual, Western economies have gone bankrupt and are collapsing fast, and Canada, Greenland, Iceland, Mexico, and Panama are the keys to its security and survival. And the President of the United States, or POTUS, Mr. Trump, I believe comprehends and truly recognizes those facts. And that's part of the reason he's acting in this manner. That indicated, I also believe that all of us within North America were being politically played and directly interfered with in a varying manner of ways by many other foreign entities for quite some time, and not necessarily those whom you think. And truly, no thanks to a great many other factors that contributed to further hardships, including the fact that a great many countries have been treated badly and also financially and physically destroyed for decades. By not only the American hegemony and deep state, but also those same types of entities from other foreign countries as well, that all help to manipulate those harmful actions. For every one of them have their own forms of deep state, or elitist, that think they have the blood of the gods within themselves, when in fact they are bigger morons than most. It's true. And that fact is part of the reason that caused the BRICS nations to rise up as an economic powerhouse, for many of them are sick of being trampled on, or even bullied. But also understand that many within those nations believe that their cultures are meant to rule the world. Also understand this, they are all committing espionage against each other, stealing ideas, industrial designs, and so many other intellectual properties, thereby allowing themselves to attain great wealth at the expense of those that have always tried to help humanity. I would also like you to make note of this. For a great many decades, since the end of the Second World War, the world looked to us and our American friends to protect our countries, democracies, and even some republics, and to police our world's oceans and nations. But also by creating the NATO alliance, whom have recently lost their way, by encroaching upon other sovereign nations' borders, and no longer represents what their constitution implied all those many years ago, including those others that have and also had different ideologies and geopolitical goals back then. And because of all such actions, whether negative or positive, the Americans have taken on the things and manners that those many other countries wanted, which eventually caused the indebting of themselves and their country greatly. And to be blunt, I'm not going to kick them on their way down. In fact, I'll attempt to help them on their way back up. That now indicated, I want everyone to truly comprehend that there is nothing wrong with friendly rivalries, even those types with other countries, for sometimes that's how great industrial, economic, and even balanced innovative eco-based solutions and further progress transpires, including beneficial political, financial, and other worldly unions. But when weapons of mass destruction, or even threats to use those on our neighbors transpires, we put all future generations at risk of mutual assured destruction, and that sword of Damocles may be removed from all their abilities very soon. And that's not a threat. That's what appears to be coming to light, as it relates to the future technologies that are appearing within these current conflicts. For within the military mindset, the countermeasures are always less expensive to initiate than the measures themselves. And some of us all seen that fact when former President Ronald Reagan initiated the Star Wars program all those many years ago, but then it came to light that the countermeasures by the Soviet Union could prevent those abilities from doing much harm. Anyways, let's get back on track. Currently, the United States of America is approximately 35 to 37 trillion in debt, with an approximated untapped natural reserve of about $10 trillion. But that's an assumption based on many economists and evaluators. For I believe that the state of Alaska alone holds about $100 trillion in untapped natural physical reserves on its own, but that requires a great many years and very much work to get to. And now that the President of the United States has opened those resources up to further developments, we'll all start to witness something entirely unique, all on its own. Furthermore, how can the Americans truly pay this debt and possibly bring themselves to a neutral state as their debt's interest climbs, thereby allowing them to remain on top as one of the world's economic powers? There are several ways: control your spending and pay your debts. The untapped natural reserves of Canada alone has the ability for the Americans to do this quickly without completely destroying the state of Alaska's ecosystems. And that's why I'm assuming, based on what I've witnessed, Mr. Trump and elitist Canadian businessmen like Mr. Kevin O'Leary are pushing for our country to become the 51st state of the United States Republic, thereby allowing for the United States to gain great assets to quell the debtors, which can truly never happen, for we are 10 provinces and 3 territories, and that's regardless of our unsustainable growing population count. Moreover, if that's what our peoples want, that's another matter, for it would take great plebiscites and referendums to make that happen. And we've seen how those types of matters are dealt with in this country in the past, as it related to Quebec. Plus, those actions and results would need to be overwhelmingly led by about 85 to 90% of each province's populations, but would result in 13 states being added to the Republic of the United States of America, for a complete count of 63 United States of America in total. Not just one, as Mr. Trump likes to state. Furthermore, the question should also be asked to the American peoples: do they want this? And if so, how does that work within their constitution and within their decision-making or voting process? For we've seen by past elections in the United States that they are very susceptible to voter fraud and political interference by other foreign states or entities. But then again, so are we, for anything along this line must also follow the goals and constitution of their own country, and be with the people, by the people, and for the people. For we the people need to be free and have the ability to defend our ways of life, but to also stand as equals with no elitists pushing their financial weight and negative influences upon the rest of us, which has been done, at least in this country, for many decades now. But that in and of itself is another entire video series on its own. And that video series would also delve into, but would also show that the World Economic Forum has always wanted the United States and Canada to join into a union as one North American region. Anyways, that potential union with the United States of America is a hypothetical scenario, but may not be for long if the rest of Canada continues on this destructive communistic course of actions. Now, back to our current reality, which just so happens to be quite negative all on its own. If the Canadian peoples want to better survive these possible Trump tariffs, which I believe may actually be coming because of our lack of current true leadership and what seems like economic and political warfare initiatives by the current Liberal Woke Party of Canada, and truly continue on as a so-called free democratic country, then Mr. Trudeau's Liberal government needs to remove all carbon taxes right now, and declare that all provincial governments should truly devise a manner of removing all interprovincial taxes and trade barriers, for they should all be gone. Or even better, bring back our parliament and allow the confidence vote to take place, so that our peoples and their representatives may have their say, thereby allowing for whatever political party to have the 4-year mandate that's required to deal with our lax border, plus so much more, like the fentanyl, homeless, and economic crisis that are enveloping our nations. For we've survived these carbon tax increases for years now, and we've shown how resilient we could be against the facts of big business interests and World Economic Forum interference that are backed by this government's intent to make all of us pay for whatever bullshit fake green agendas they think works, but actually does nothing more than to make the Canadian economy weak and all our people suffer for no real reasons. For there are current satellite scans and other proofs coming out of NASA, indicating the truth of our country's carbon footprints being far less than any other major industrialized nation on Earth, in fact actually more naturally CO2 absorbent than many think. And that's not because of anything the Trudeau liberals have done. What makes Mr. Trudeau, Mr. Carney the assumed and still next PM of Canada, or even Miss Freeland think anything else will work? This is all a very bad political game that's going to backfire in all their black and green faces. For they are playing all sides with their chessboard of colored stars, the Great Reset World Order, otherwise known as the World Economic Forum, but also with the other New World Order of China and India, while they attempt to fight with Russia, while attempting to appear in appeasing the American 47th President, Mr. Trump. If Mr. Trudeau's Liberal government does not do these things soon, and causes further harm to our Canadian brothers and sisters, as well as to our economy, then understand, will not only make you pay during the next election, will entirely annihilate the dual-faced and multi-sided Liberal WEF Communist Party forever. And that's not a threat, it's a promise. It's plain, it's simple, and it's factual. And your political distractive tactics no longer work. For we've shown that we are a strong, intelligent, innovative, and super creative series of groups of peoples who see through your political bullshit, intent on self-governance, within one of the richest countries on Earth. And we'll prove it very soon. As for Mr. Trump's agenda of wanting to give America a great golden age again, that can only occur with our help as it did after the Second World War. Let's work in partnership and unleash our economic potential together, and show the whole world what we North Americans can truly accomplish when we stand united as two separate countries, but very much alike in so many ways of mutual respect and work together. For I always believed that when Mr. Trump spoke about making America great again, it encompassed all of North America and its peoples. And as far as dealing with the fentanyl problems or crisis that plagues both our countries, and our current federal and provincial governments, if you want to call them that, and their lack of truly dealing with our weak borders, I'm a firm believer that we can achieve anything together, like we have militarily and economically achieved in the past, present, and hopefully in our conjoined future. And let's further do as we have always done, to fight this fentanyl opioid crisis that's been ravaging all our peoples and nations, to stand on guard against those intent on causing great harm to our citizens and economic growth. Let me reiterate, as for Mr. Trump's agenda of wanting to give America a great golden age again, and to be factual, we want that for ourselves and our great neighbors as well. That can only occur with our help. Let's unleash our economic, physical, and even our spiritual potential together, and show the whole world what we North Americans can truly accomplish when we work together. If not, then you can face the whole world on your own, for they are coming, and it's not like a great many of us did not try and warn you. For they are not happy about a great many events and things. And that includes many of the things that some of the other countries around the world asked you to do on their behalf for all those years as the protectors of freedom, liberty, and justice. But also truly understand, they are coming, for the potential for the United States of America to die a slow death by 7.5 billion cuts is on the horizon. And personally, I have no desire to witness those events.